Donnie and Dolly, the team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Oh, yeah. Our guests today, including Ross Tucker, standing by, brought to you by the Waddling Dog Pub, located 10 minutes from the ferry terminal. The Waddling Dog Pub is the place to be to catch every Canucks game with one of their 19 taps of both domestic and locally crafted beer, wine, and cider. A daily happy hour from 4 to 6, brunch from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., fully stocked liquor store attached. There are countless reasons to come, sit, and stay at the Waddling Dog. The Dog, as we bring in Ross Tucker from the Ross Tucker Football Podcast and Westwood One. Thanks for doing this, sir. How are you?
I am doing awesome as you can be, getting back on a red eye from the Rams Cardinals game last night. That's 2 nights out of the last 3 where I got less than 4 hours sleep. So I'm a little afraid that today I'm going to say something stupid and Rick's going to jump all over me.
I'm waiting for that. You better believe it. I'm waiting for that.
Hey, by the way,
looking forward to that.
Let me just say something real quick about that.
Yep.
For the first time last week, Rick, I got a couple people, like 98% of the people loved it, thought it was hilarious, thought you deserved it. I had 2 people say,
It was
you
more than
went
2.
overboard there. You were too hard on Rick. Just so everybody knows, I love Rick. It's all in good fun. If you give me an opportunity, I'm going to take it. Rick and I are buddies. Don't get sensitive, okay?
No.
I think maybe Canadians are a little bit more sensitive than Americans. I'm just busting his chops. It's all in good fun for the show, I can assure you.
It's all good, Ross. I love you. It was a 50-50 split, by the way, not 2%. That's the way it works, though. You remember the 2 people that ripped into you versus the others that loved you.
It's 50%.
Anyways, I love you. Okay. You finished?
Yeah.
You good? Okay. Rams beat the Cardinals 34-11. I know you're no stranger to an NFL sideline, Ross, but you did the game for Westwood One from the sidelines reporting. How much do you enjoy that?
It's awesome, man. It's awesome. Now, I always have to find a place to sit down during the TV timeouts because static standing, just standing in one place, is like the worst thing for my back. I had a back surgery when I played for the Bills. But I often say this, Donnie, I've told my buddies this, and I've told, anybody, fans I meet, if I could give you one gift, if I could grant you one thing, it would be to be, other than like eternal happiness or something cool like that, I would grant you to be on the sideline for an NFL game. It's just truly a unique experience every time. And first of all, to be on the surface and look around at the gigantic stadium, I mean, you feel like a gladiator. Even if you're not playing, you're in the arena, and then you just see how fast the guys are moving. And it happens all the time. People don't know what they're doing. But when they get to the numbers, like if it's an outside play and they get to the numbers, I start backing up because I know what's coming. I know what's about to happen. I think most people, like some of the other people on the sideline, they don't realize how fast the guys get from the numbers to out of bounds, hitting them by accident. The last thing I'm going to do is get hurt. I get out of there. Although, if you guys ever watch, I get out of there and I try to get right back in so I can get on TV. I get out of there, get hurt, and then once they all stop and the play's over, I try to run right back in there to try to get some TV time.
Yeah, heads up. I've done it a couple times. Heads up, no kidding. Hey, Ross, 34-11, did that have more to do with the Rams or the Cardinals and Kyler Murray?
Yeah, I mean, always a combination of both, clearly. But I was really disappointed in general, guys, in the playoffs with how many non-competitive games there were. I mean, the Patriots didn't stop the Bills once. Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots? Are you kidding me? The Eagles looked like they were outclassed in every way. The Cardinals, quite frankly, looked like they didn't belong at all. I mean, they couldn't stop the Rams' rushing attack. They couldn't get pressure on Stafford. Guys were wide open. Meanwhile, Cardinals couldn't run the ball at all. They couldn't find anybody open. That was a surprising beatdown. I mean, the point spread early in the week, last Tuesday, for the Patriots and the Cardinals, they were both getting 3.5.
Wow.
I mean, you could have given them both 35 and they might not have covered if the other team kept the heat on.
Okay, Ross, let's talk about the upcoming games this weekend. They should be a whole lot closer. Bills and Chiefs, what do you see happening there?
I think that's the game of the weekend.
That's it.
I think that's going to be incredible. I'll actually be calling the Bucs and Rams right before it. So as soon as that game's over, I want to get back to the hotel and check out Chiefs Bills. It's hard to go against the Chiefs at home. I do think that that's a big advantage. Both those teams looked awfully, awfully good in the wild card round. Although if the Bills play a perfect game again, I don't know how they're going to lose. I think that the winner of that game is clearly, in my mind, going to go to the Super Bowl from the AFC and maybe even be the favorite. I think that's how good Kansas City and Buffalo are playing right now, which is what matters. Not what your record was all year or anything like that. What matters is how well you're playing right now.
What matters is Aaron Rodgers 0 for 3 versus the 49ers in the playoffs the last 10 years. But what do you see happening with the 49ers and Packers?
That's a great point too, Rick. I didn't know that stat. I just knew that he struggled against the Niners. Even in their regular season matchups, they were able to win this year, but Jimmy G took him down, gave him the lead, or at least tied it, and then Rodgers was able to get that field goal. Here's what I know. I don't think the Packers are happy that they're playing the Niners.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, the Niners, as you pointed out, have their number. I was on the sideline of that conference championship game a couple years ago when they got absolutely run over by Raheem Mostert and the Niners. The Packers have been very vulnerable against the Niners rushing attack over the years, and I think that probably happens again. The problem is Niners got beat up. It's one of the reasons why, having the number one seed's such an advantage. Packers got healthier. Nick Bosa gets concussion protocol for the Niners. We'll see if he's back or not. Fred Warner hurts his lower leg. We'll see how effective he is. And the Niners are decimated at corner. I think the Packers probably win a close one, but I think it'll be a close one again. But I thought that in a bunch of games this weekend, and they weren't.
No kidding.
Ross, do you have a defense of the Cowboys' late QB draw play?
Well, I'll say a couple things about it.
Okay.
Number one, it didn't cost them the game, okay? They would have had a very low percentage chance to try to win the game after that. It's less than 10%. People are acting like, if that hadn't happened, they would have definitely scored a touchdown and won the game. Well, that's not the case. So that's a partial defense, is that it's not as big a deal as people are saying. I will also say I understand the logic. Let's get 12 yards closer so that we can actually run a play and Dak Prescott can put a throw on a line and try to rifle it in there like a Justin Herbert 4th and 21 as opposed to a lob Hail Mary. So I get the logic. We were always told you need 16 seconds for that. Mm-hmm. They tried to do it with 14. Mike McCarthy says that they practice every week. Didn't look like it. I mean, Noah Brown, the receiver, standing around, not getting lined up. They didn't know to hand the ball to the refs. If they practice every week, that would actually be more concerning for Mike McCarthy, in my mind.
Yeah. End of that game, Dallas fans throwing objects at the officials and some of their own players. Did anything like that ever happen to you, especially at home?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I can't remember anything like that happening. And the thing I put on Twitter at Ross Tucker NFL, I grew up outside of Philadelphia, and people still talk about when they threw snowballs at Santa Claus. They still talk about when they cheered when Michael Irvin got hurt. I mean, I've heard these stories my whole life. If the Eagles fans threw something at one of their best players like DeMarcus Lawrence, that would be talked about for decades. And I don't think it really makes it better that they were throwing it at the refs. Number one, it just means Cowboys fans have terrible accuracy. I mean, it wasn't even close to the ref. And secondly, why are you throwing anything in the first place? I mean, you should not be doing that. Yeah. So I think it's a bad look for the Cowboys fans. I think it's a really bad look after the game for Dak Prescott and Mike McCarthy to complain about the refs. What are they talking? What plays or calls did they not agree with? I mean, toward the end of the game, Randy Gregory, that was galactically stupid. Diggy Zua, that was a defensive hold. Gallimore, that was illegal hand. I mean, all the penalties that they got called for, I thought were legit.
Okay, one more, Ross. Rams at Bucks. Tell us what you think going into that game, especially when you talk about injuries on the Tampa Bay offensive line.
Yeah, I was surprised they put Tristan Wirfs back in the game against the Eagles on Sunday. That was not very smart. I don't know if that made it worse or not, but the Bucks are kind of limping literally into this one with Jensen and Wirfs, whereas the Rams feel like they are getting healthier. So this will be an interesting matchup. I mean, ultimately, I'm going to have a tough time picking against Tom Brady and the Bucks at home, but I think it should be an awesome game, and I would not be surprised if the Rams get the win, especially if Wirfs doesn't play.
Dollywall came out unscathed. In fact, you gave him a great point at one point during this interview.
Hey, Ross, I couldn't sleep last night. I'm not going to lie to you. I was sweating bullets. But I'll tell you, it was nice to go, not in the penalty box with you for once.
Yeah, but now I feel bad, Rick, because you evidently must have gotten a bunch of private direct messages saying
I got a lot of people, a lot of family and friends. That Tucker guy's all over you.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, if your ratio is 50-50, then that means the ones I saw was 98% to 2%. More people are sympathizing with you. Evidently, you are a sympathetic character, Rick.
That's right.
No more joking around with Rick. I don't want to.
Oh, no. Keep it coming.
Dollywall Nation. I don't want Dollywall Nation to get upset with me.
What you did to me is what my teachers did to me for 12 years. Same thing.
We'll talk about that next week. Ross, thanks so much.
See you guys.
Yeah, right. Ross Tucker, football podcast. It was, in terms of volume, it was a great weekend. Quality of play.
Too many blowouts.
4 blowouts.
4 blowouts.
And then, of course, now today, you hear people going, too many teams in the playoffs.
22 points.
To the 7th seed, Steelers and Eagles got destroyed.
Yeah.
So they're not going back because there's a lot of money involved. But Ross touched on it there that it didn't live up to the hype. 2 good games, 4 blowouts.
The blowouts were 22 points apart in each game, average. And it's going to be a whole lot closer this weekend, Donnie.
Last week with Ross was way more entertaining, by the way.
No. It's so
nice
work
to go
on that for
next
unscathed.
week.
It's so nice with that guy.
Poll question next. Donnie and Dolly, the team on check.